While concerns continue to rise for NBA players about returning down to the Orlando bubble, there's conflicting reports about whether or not Jayson Tatum can be included in that group. I'm Sierra Goodwill, here with Mike Petraglia and Josue Pavon. There was a report that came out earlier that Jayson Tatum was worried and weary about going down to Orlando because of the risk of injury before a contract year where he's likely going to sign a max deal. But Trags, you're hearing now that that's not true.
Yeah, Asherrod Blakely of NBC Sports Boston had a source that told him not true. He's concerned, like every other player, about returning to play. There's a lot going on in the world that players need to be concerned about, but sitting out because of the contract, hell no. Now, is that source Jayson himself? That quote kind of sounds like
that sounds just like him.
Or his agent. It really is a stern response to those rumors that hit the NBA rumor mill like wildfire earlier in the day. And I'm not surprised that that response was as firm in opposition to it. But all of that being said, I think Jayson Tatum has a point. And this is a guy who, remember, he turned his ankle in the offseason last year at a world competition, and everybody panicked. Was it a broken ankle? Is it a sprained ankle? Did he, blow out an Achilles? And I'm sure thoughts like that go through Jayson Tatum's mind because of his previous history, less than 12 months ago. And he certainly doesn't want that happening before he has the chance to sign on the dotted line for a max contract. That being said, there's no way he's not going to play and then have the image going forward for the rest of his career that he sat out during a pandemic so he could get a max deal. The optics of that would be horrific, and he would lose a lot of respect on the team, I'm sure, if he were to do that, and I don't think he's going to do that.
Yeah, I could hear Tatum's voice, the emphasis on the hell no. Like, that's Tatum for sure. That's absolutely Tatum. And of course it is, because Tatum wants to compete. Tatum wants to play. This is a rookie who this is a player during his rookie season who was one quarter away from the NBA Finals. You think Tatum doesn't smell that again and think to himself, you know what, I can not only make the NBA Finals, but I can lead my team during my breakout season, my first All-Star year, and all the conversations of him being a top 10 player would be over. Okay, no chance that Jayson Tatum doesn't play. He's going to be careful, of course, just like everybody else. The kind of year that he's having, he's going to have to get back in the swing of things. He's already doing that, which has been really, really encouraging, seeing those videos and pictures of him in the Auerbach Center working out. But, I think Tatum is going to be I'm not worried about him in terms of his health, in terms of him not wanting to go. He's good to go in my book.
Yeah, I think that if there were any truth to these reports that Tatum was concerned about injury, that it would be ridiculous and kind of confusing because isn't injury always a risk?
Yeah, it's always a risk.
You're not going down for scrimmages or summer league. You're restarting the season that you're supposed to play in and fight for an NBA title. These aren't illegitimate games. This means something. So that just was really confusing. And I hope that Asherrod's report is true and that it was completely false. If players, though, show support for that kind of line of thinking or just decide to sit out for personal reasons, whether it be health or in support of the Kyrie's line of thinking in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement and taking awareness away from that, do you think that they will be looked down upon by NBA fans and the rest of the league for the players that do choose to sit out?
That's a very difficult question. I think some fans will, look down on that and have a problem. I think they'll have a problem with those players, like I said earlier, that would sit out the restart of the NBA season and the playoffs and then sign a new deal. I think for those players who sit out because of social concerns, because of they want to make a statement about racial injustice or concerns about COVID, I don't think many fans would hold that against them at all.
Yeah, I agree. Unless that player says that's the reason and then doesn't actively, start a campaign or start marching or something, then maybe you'll get some flack for that. But again, I don't see that happening. And the players that decide not to come, maybe it's for contractual reasons, maybe it's family reasons. There could be a list of different reasons. And I think the only way fans really get mad at their player or their team, or the player that plays for the team, is if they decide that if it's a player who's in the rotation, who's a top team, have a chance to win a title. That's the only time I really see fans getting mad about. They're not gonna get mad about the end of the bench guy not wanting to go to Orlando. They'll get mad if one of their starting players doesn't go. I think that's the only way.
They'd get mad if Taco wouldn't go, though. They just love that guy, even though
they would probably call him out, but then they would want to hang out with him. Hey, you know what? I'm in the area. What's up, Taco? What are you up to?
Yes. Well, for all of our Celtics and NBA coverage leading up to the restart, check it out on our website at clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Celtics All Access.